Hey y'all, it's Skylar, and let's talk about the fact that I am quite literally moving to London, England in 2 weeks, leaving behind my entire life. And I'm not ready. I just got a haircut, so feeling beautiful. I put some notes down so then I wouldn't forget what I was doing. Literally, why do I want to move to the UK? My life right now is pretty great, so let's chat about it. The whole idea for me to move from Canada to the UK has always been like a dream of mine. I don't know. I watched Sex and the City and all those movies in the early 2000s, and I was like, I want to be that bitch who like struts around like with, at the time, a Bluetooth speaker and like is a boss-ass bitch. In university, I debated doing exchange, and if you don't know what exchange is, it's just pretty much you take like a semester and you live somewhere abroad and you do all your like work and stuff from there, pretty much. And I did want to do that for like the longest time, and I was like, ooh, should I go to the UK? Should I go to Australia? I was like up in the air, but me and my boyfriend had been dating for around, I don't know, I think me and my boyfriend had been dating around like 2 years at that point, and I was like so madly in love with him that I just had this feeling that if I left for like 4 or 5 months that our relationship would be over. So I didn't want to do that, so I didn't put myself out there, and then COVID happened anyway, so good thing I didn't go on exchange. But a part of me was still like, oh shit, maybe I should have done it. Me and my boyfriend have still been together for like 6 years now, and I'm still like, I have that itch to do something like that, but I want to do it alone. Like, feelings towards it is that I've always wanted to like do this, but like as a solo girl moving around, and I live with my boyfriend now, so it was all just becoming very complicated. And then I had like the giant timeline chat where if I want to travel abroad, let's say with my boyfriend, he has to finish school, and then for him to be able to move abroad, he needs to work 2 more years, and then by the time that happens, we're like 28. I'm like, I don't know, it's all adding up, and I was like, but I want kids before 30, or at least 1 kid before 30. Anyways, I was overly stressed about everything, so ultimately, I just decided like, the only time to do it is right now. So I impulsively started looking into jobs in the UK, started like looking into everything. My boyfriend at this point had no idea about anything. And then I find out that my current company, like my PR agency I work at, has an office in London, and they have a policy that they put into place during COVID, never got rid of it, that allows people to live abroad from a different office for about a year. So I brought that up to my manager, I think in October, chatted with my boyfriend. He was so supportive because he's like the sweetest man ever, and I don't know why I'm leaving him, but whatever. My boss finally said yes, and I was like, what? So I was like, okay, I need to get on like getting a visa. Luckily, because of Commonwealth, love Queen Elizabeth and all that jazz, there's like a super easy visa you can get if you're part of Commonwealth. So all I had to do was show that I had like, I think it was $2,000 in my bank account, and then on top of that you just had to be a Canadian citizen, and that was all the requirements pretty much. Oh, and you had to be between the ages of 18 to 30. I think they just recently upped it to 32 though, but don't take my word for that. I applied for the youth visa, and guess how much the application was? It was, if I'm thinking correctly, it was $1,500 USD. USD. So wildly expensive, okay? Wildly expensive. But I was like, okay, fuck it. Submitted my application, got it back in like 3 months. So it was super fast. Then all of a sudden, like, everything was really happening. Like, holy shit, I'm like gonna dip the fuck out. Like, what is happening? So then I was like, okay, I'm freaking out. I need to look for a place to live. So pretty much everyone tells you to look at Spareroom, Rightmove, things like that to find a place. And I had read some stories of people who moved, finding a roommate on Spareroom, but the roommates were like landlords. And I was like, I want girlies to be my roommates. Like, I want roommates who are friends. So we can go out, we have housewarming parties, like little dinners together, everything. I feel like I'm not finding that on Spareroom, and if I was finding it, it would be like a premium, like you have to pay X amount to like send a message to this person. I'm sure this person was getting like 1,000 different messages. So I was like, fuck, this is not going the way I want it to go. So then I turned to trusty old Facebook, and guess what? They had a group chat on Facebook called Gals Who Rent. Holy grail. because there are girls all the time on there posting like spare rooms for 6 months to up to a year, looking for other girlies who meet the vibes. I was sending out 101 messages, okay? I finally found like 2 girls who I was like, oh my god, I love their vibes. This is great. But the issue was with them is that it was a buddy up situation. So like they were gonna search for a room, and 2 of them were already in London, so they were going house hunting. But like the process to house hunt in London's really hard, especially when I can't even physically be there to help out. So I was just like sitting in Canada being like, la-di-da, like I wish I could do more. And overall I was getting too stressed because I was like 3 weeks away. I was freaking out, so I told them like I'm really worried, so I started messaging other girls on there. I had 2 other girls who are literally the sweetest people ever. They had a place that they put a deposit on. They just needed like 1 more person, so I jumped on that. I think as of this moment I've signed the contract. I just need to send the deposit. So I think I'm living with these 2 girls, which is insane. I arrived to England April 4th, and then I think I have like 5 days until I can move into the house, because move-in's April 10th. I'm gonna stay with relatives because luckily I have relatives who I don't really know, but I have relatives who live in like the greater London area. So I'm gonna stay with them for the first 5 days, hopefully take off work if my boss approves my PTO. And that was honestly the biggest struggle. That was harder than getting the visa, in my opinion. Okay, next on the list. Oh, long distance. Long distance. Let's talk about long distance. I'm like an over planner. So first thing I knew that we needed to do to make this relationship work while doing long distance was figure out when he's coming down to see me and when I'm coming down to see him. He's coming down in June, so we'll spend, I think, 2 months apart, which isn't even that bad in the grand scheme of it. 2 months apart, he'll come down, and then we'll spend another 3 months apart, and then I'll come back to Toronto for his brother's wedding. Together for like 6 years, so in all honesty, we were like, what could go wrong? Like, we're great at communicating, but with the time difference, we agreed, like, if we're getting into a fight, because I'm a wizard with my fingers when we end a text fight, I'm like, we need to stop, take a pause, and call. If there's no time to call, then we just stop. We don't continue the fight until actually see each other face to face, because fights are just never good over text. Am I scared to do long distance with my boyfriend? Absolutely. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't. I'm also scared because I'm like a people pleaser, and so like if people are like, oh, come do this, come do that, like I don't know, like I'm a people pleaser, so I'm like, yes, I want to do that. Like I'm also a little flirty, but like I don't know. I just know we both need to just prioritize what we have and just always remember what we have, and I think that will be okay in the long run, because we've been together for 6 years, and my thought was like, if we can't do long distance after being together for 6 years and living together, like, come on now. Come on now. Basil. I'm also really gonna miss my cat, because she is the cutest cat in the whole world, if you didn't know. Basil, come here. Come here, sweetie. Oh, my cat. Come here. Come here. Oh, say hi to the people. This is Basil. Oh, you cute girl. Vlog my packing. I'm gonna vlog my moving. I'm gonna vlog everything about my trip to England. I'll be there for 6 months. If you're interested in any of that jazz, then definitely subscribe. Follow me on socials. I'm like so beyond excited for y'all to come on this journey with me. So fingers crossed it goes all good.